Welcome to the Adam Rothstein Hockey Podcast. This is your podcast for all things hockey. On this podcast, we talk about past history to the modern day and what you can do to grow the sport. I am your host, Adam Rothstein. All right, let's get to the show. Welcome back to the Adam Rothstein Hockey Podcast. This is episode number 90, and if you can't tell, I am wearing my Columbus Blue Jackets shirt to celebrate Adam Fantilli's Fantilli making it into the NHL and being the third overall draft pick for 2023. So let's get into it. If I can share my screen. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so a little bit about Adam Fantilli. So he signed a 3-year contract with the Blue Jackets on Saturday, and the one thing is that you don't know what he's gonna do. I mean, he was born in 2004. He was born. I don't even think he knows what a VHS tape looks like, and he is just. And now everyone's talking about how he's going to be like the next Rick Nash, and he's great. If I could show you this at the University of Michigan, where he played in the Frozen Four, he got to the Final Four for the Frozen Four. Big Ten school right there. He played 36 games. He had 65 points. So right now he's not quite at 2 points a game, but he's well over a point a game. So he's not quite there at all, but he's certainly dominating that. And if you can get a point per game or even go a little over in the NHL, it's one determining factor that you're going to be a Hall of Famer, or you're at the very least going to be a very, very good player. So there's that. Now he now 74 games and 74 points in 54 games with Chicago Steel last season. Not this past season, but the one prior to that. So 21-22 season, and then the 2020-2021 season, he gets 36 points in 49 games, which is also not too bad, depending on his playing time as well. So 6'2". Oh, he's actually still only 18 years old as well. So he was born on October 12th, 2004. Wasn't even and he's just over 6 feet tall, and 190 95 pounds as well. So what does this mean for the Blue Jackets? What exactly does this all mean? I think it just means that they're gonna probably have a better year than they did last year. I think the Blue Jackets selected the best they could. They weren't going to get Connor Bedard. They were not going to get that. And maybe had they got the selected pick over the Blackhawks, Fantilli could have been playing in Chicago and he wouldn't have had too far to travel too. But he also doesn't have too far to travel playing at the University of Michigan and just being so close to the Toledo Strip. he's not going to have too far to go to get to Columbus. So there's that. So he's not too out of his zone. Now he is, playing for the U20 Canadian team. He's played with, they're almost ready to go to the NHL. So that's something else. Do I think he'll get like 60, 70 points? Oddly enough, yes, I think he will. I think when he's just gotten so comfortable at the University of Michigan and also playing for Chicago Steel, he definitely can just be comfortable and get ready to to go as well. If he plays, I think he'll finish under a point a game though, because it's your first season and you're gonna struggle, and especially in the butterfly era, it's that difficult. I definitely want to if I could just Google this as well, maybe I'll stop the share real quickly. I definitely think that the Blue Jackets have had their struggles over the years. I think Fantilli is going to be, great getting them back in. And the 2010s of Rick Nash, that was like, it was there, and then they had a brief window with defeating the Tampa Bay Lightning and solidifying the President's trophy curse and keeping that rolling in 2019. But they just have not had their luck recently. And I think maybe that's starting to change. Maybe Fantilli is going to do this. I have seen his performance when he was playing at the University of Michigan, because apparently we don't broadcast Chicago Steel games. But at the University of Michigan, playing for the Wolverines, I've got to admit, he was like the guy. He was obviously, he was the best player on, out of the tournament, even though Quinnipiac wound up beating Minnesota. You could still be the best player in the tournament, but just not have the supporting cast around you. I think he'll definitely get used to some of the lineup. That's going to take some time. That's why I'm not necessarily going to put him at like rookie of the year. But I've got to admit, I think he's going to be someone special. And if I can look this up real quickly. I mean, like, remember, he was also close to winning the Frozen Four championship. And we still don't know what we're going to get in October. That's going to take a while to know, where they're going to be. Where the Blue Jackets are going to be, and how is he going to do against or playing with Dune or Benstrom, or it's like, is he going to be that guy? I think we'll have to see. And from the 25 games they won last year, it's horrible. It's horrible what they did in their 82 game season. It's basically nowhere to go but up. And I think that also might help Fantilli, as it'll take some of the pressure off of him, because they're not even expected to go to the playoffs next year, and I think that will definitely help. You know, it's just getting if they get to the playoffs next year, you know, Fantilli can make a good case for his contract after the 3 years. So there is that. I think that just being 18, barely an adult, you can vote next year in his respective election in Canada or wherever he's, is I'm assuming that it's 18 up in Canada, but I think he's still, is he going to have maturity issues? Is he going to have, you know, is he going to be butting heads with the coaches? Is he going to be watching the film as well? Can he overcome that as well? You know, I think when Michael Jordan came into the NBA, he was 18, 19 years old. And Nike wanted to sign him and all that. But there's still young players that come in and they're just, they're not mature, they're not ready, and then they're often traded, and then and they have trouble settling themselves down and going to the bars and the strip clubs, in their off time and not watching the game, or not just putting in the work and watching film or anything like that. They could get and that's the risk you take as well. That's the risk you always have to take as well. I mean, who could think of what you know and here's the thing: he could have gone back to the University of Michigan for a second season, and he could have just held up and gotten more experience and graduated as a Wolverine. And remember, just like Michael Jordan, it's like, you gotta go. If you're good enough and you can go, someone's gonna want you. And apparently they definitely want him too. They definitely want him as well. A brief side note here. Is tomorrow's going to be July 4th. It's the July 3rd when I'm making this, so there's that, and and also check out the audiobook, the sample of that link will be in the show notes, where you can listen to the sample on YouTube. All right. Just wanted to cover that. So here's how much Adam Fantilli is going to make. So in 3 years, he's going to make nearly $12.5 million. So the exact contract is, for 3 years he'll make $12,450,000. I mean, like, that's over $4 million a year. That's over $4 million a year that he's going to make, and I think his numbers do show it. But I mean, like, for you know, Columbus apparently has the money, even though they're a bit of a small market. I definitely think that maybe he's going to be a little overpriced with this, because it's like, do I really want to risk that much? Bedard went 1 overall the first pick for a reason, but maybe we don't just. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying maybe you want to slow your roll so you can get more prospects, and maybe you can get something maybe you can get a good trade in before the season, and you're not going to be tied up as well. Now, I don't think much about the Blue Jackets, but I did think that Adam Fantilli was excellent, and maybe Michigan could have won this, and he could have, and we could have seen more of him on television. That's another thing. We don't get to see these guys on television unless they're in the NCAA and unless they're broadcasting the Frozen Four across the nation on an for national games like the Frozen Four, or unless you have like satellite or like some direct TV with like channel 1500, you can see it. But for most of us, we can't see it. It's so out of the realm of where we are, and we don't get to see him. But I think his numbers from the Steel and the Wolverines, I think that does show that he is ready to play in the NHL. But is he a little overpriced? You tell me. I think, when you're just bringing these guys along that have no NHL experience, are they going to adjust well to the game? Is he going to be playing, how he's going to be playing? Will you put him out on the second or third line for that to get him used to that? I think we're going to I'll just wait and see. I'm willing to be proven wrong on this, but I think it's just a little overpriced and a little over my budget for $4 million a year for a new guy. Maybe that's and that's no disrespect. I just think Columbus needs to save some of their money. Okay, so there's that. What else is there? I guess that's gonna be it for this episode. Happy 4th of July. If I'll try to get something out on Thursday for y'all. So there's that. If you like this episode, share this with all your friends, rate this 5 stars, write me a little review. Let me know what you think. Check out the links in the show notes below, and yeah. And I'll try to cover more prospects coming up. And with that being said, take care.